Before that, let me finish this definition, and we'll move on to the next discussions. So, can anyone give the mathematical definition of this tridiagonal matrix? Something like we gave definition for upper triangular and lower triangular in terms of AIJs, no? In a similar way, can you give the definition? When a matrix can be a tridiagonal matrix. So what is what I'm telling? So I have a matrix of order n. Let A equal to Aij of order n by n. So when can I say A is tridiagonal? Then A is said to be. Then A is said to be tridiagonal. Can anyone tell? You observe the indices. You see, definition is in terms of I and j only, no? Can you guess? See these indices. What is this position? 1, 3. This position is 1, 4, 2, 4, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4, 2, etc. Now you see these indices. Now can you tell the relation between I and j? What is the relation between I and j in tridiagonals? What is the relation between I and j in non-tridiagonals?
Sir, difference of I minus j is greater than 1 in other
diagonals.
non-tridiagonals.
Right. Yeah. So if the difference is more than 1, can I say that all of them are 0 in tridiagonal matrix? Or we can say that matrix will be tridiagonal if so what could be the how do you define the difference between I and j? What is the mathematical notation you will give for I and j? Difference between I and j.
Mod of I minus j.
That's it. So that's it. If Aij equal to 0, where is this? If Aij equal to 0, okay, whenever modulus of I minus j greater than 1, is that sufficient? That is a tridiagonal matrix. Okay, fine. You can write down this in your notebook, and you may write your own examples for tridiagonal matrices. And what is the note? Ax is said to be Ax equal to b is said to be a tridiagonal system if A is a tridiagonal matrix. Okay. And what is the note? If a tridiagonal system is given, try to apply LU decomposition method to the extent possible. But before that, make sure that A is a non-singular matrix. So that's only an oral instruction. Okay, so whenever a tridiagonal system is given, and if you notice that A is a non-singular matrix, you apply by default LU decomposition method. Or in exams, if you're asked to apply LU decomposition method, then you have the option of applying Crowd's method or Doolittle's method. Okay, no one will tell you to apply Doolittle's or Crowd's. Depending on your convenience, you can apply anyone. Okay, so as I said, the pair L and U is not unique, because when you apply Crowd's method, you will get one pair of L and U. If you apply the Doolittle's method, you will get another pair of L and U, right? So like that, there can be several other pairs also, where A can be decomposed into product of two triangular matrices. Okay. So with this, I think we have completed the portion in the first mid. Just go through it. We discussed about types of real matrices and complex matrices, like orthogonal matrix, Hermitian matrix, unitary matrix, and their properties also. And after that, we discussed rank, echelon form, normal form, consistency of and solutions of system of linear equations, homogeneous and non-homogeneous, LU decomposition method. Is it okay? Did we cover all the topics in this first unit?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now next unit is also part of matrix theory only. 1 and 2 put together is a matrix theory. So this is a continuation of the discussion on first unit. Okay, and this is a very important topic, eigenvalues and eigenvectors, which has several applications even today also. So these are all very basic concepts. Okay, so we should learn this well, and the background knowledge, the previous knowledge for this eigenvalues and eigenvectors is this system of linear equations in which homogeneous system is a particular thing. Okay, and before proceeding further, I think I have shared you the PDF of BS Gravel also, right? So all of you just go through the uh, example problems and concepts that are given in this book. Okay, so you just see the topics. Okay, you correlate the topics that are there in the syllabus with the concepts given in the Gravel. Okay, uh, so if you try to so you may start looking from rank of a matrix. You may start from 2.7 and just go through this theory. Okay, and okay, and then try to solve homework exercise problems. Try to solve the exercise problems. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can discuss. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Right. So now I think it's the time to start the second unit. Unit 2 is about, I think I will start unit 2 here. So because unit 1 is finished, okay, so I shall be sharing this soft copy with you. If anyone absent for any day, you can go through the soft copy and update your notes. Is it fine? So I'm going to start the second unit. Okay, so let me continue. I think there some page settings to be done. I'll copy and paste next day after this class. Let me continue the discussion in this page itself. Okay, so next topic is eigenvalues and eigenvectors. Okay, and as I said, there are several applications of these eigenvalues and eigenvectors. whatever the image processing, the entire image processing entirely revolves with the matrices, right? See, when you take a picture, picture is nothing but a combination of pixels, right? And each pixel will have color gradients, okay? And though that pixel itself is nothing but a matrix, okay? So that contains a different color gradings. So when all these pixels put together into a big on the whole, you will see an image, right? And in your phones, you will be rotating the image, you will be magnifying the image, you will be changing the color of the image, you can blur the image. All those effects you're able to do this, right? So so background is this matrix is only matrix theory only, okay? So in which these eigenvalues and eigenvectors plays very important role. Not only in image processing, there are several other fields where this matrices plays very crucial role. Okay, so you will be seeing, I will be sharing some of the videos and web links of the applications of these matrices, in particular eigenvalues and eigenvectors. You can just go through those. Okay, at present we are going to concentrate on the theory and the related applications, okay, which are there in your syllabus. Okay, so in unit 1, uh, my matrix A is an m by n matrix. In the system of linear equations Ax equal to b, where A is an m by n matrix in which there are m equations and n variables, and m can be equal to n, m may be greater than n or m may be less than n. There is no specific relation between m and n. But in this unit, from now onwards, whenever I say A, by default it is a matrix of order n. By default it is a matrix of order n. That means I'm going to consider all square matrices. Whatever the matrix is considered in this unit, every matrix is going to be a square matrix. So every time I don't need to say A is a square matrix, A is a square matrix. Okay, so that you can make it as a default assumption. Okay, only the first time I'm going to write that, and next time onwards, but you understand that there's matrices of order n. Okay, so suppose A is a square matrix of order n, square matrix of order n. Uh, then okay, then a non-zero vector, then a non-zero vector x, all of you write in your notes, a non-zero vector x is said to be an eigenvector of A. I think nowadays even face recognition techniques are also evolved, right? There are softwares which will recognize the people. I think China already had this implemented this, right? Mainly it will be useful in identifying the prisoners, and that is application of eigenvalues and eigenvectors only. Okay, so they'll call it as eigenfaces. Okay, so this the face uh, again is nothing but a set of pixels. Okay, is said to be an eigenvector of A if there exists a scalar, if there exists a scalar lambda, if there exists a scalar lambda, am I able to see lambda here? If there exists a scalar lambda such that such that Ax equal to lambda x. Ax equal to lambda x. So if there is a vector, if there is a non-zero vector, if there is a non-zero vector satisfying this condition, there is a non-zero vector x satisfying this condition for some scalar lambda. Okay, for some scalar lambda, then the vector is said to be, okay, such that Ax equal to lambda x. Then x is said to be an eigenvector of A, and the scalar lambda is said to be an eigenvalue. Is said to be an eigenvalue of A. Okay, so what is this all about? A is an m by n matrix. A is an m by n matrix. X is a n by 1 matrix. So when you multiply these two matrices, what will be the order of the matrix?
n by 1.
Some matrix of order n by 1. There is some matrix, right? So when you multiply these two matrices, you will get a matrix y of order n by 1. It is not necessarily equal to some scalar times x. Do you agree? It may be equal to lambda x or may not be equal to lambda x for any scalar x. Okay, if this is the case, whatever the matrix you are getting, if you can express this matrix like this as a scalar multiple of the given vector, then only we will say that this vector is an eigenvector. This vector is an eigenvector and this scalar is its eigenvalue. If you cannot express this vector as a scalar multiple of the original vector, then this vector cannot be a eigenvector. Is this clear to you?
Yes.
Right. Basically, eigenvector is a non-zero vector and lambda is a scalar. Scalar, I didn't say scalar is a non-zero scalar. Scalar can be 0 or non-zero. But vector has to be, this eigenvector has to be non-zero eigenvector. Is it okay? So set of all vectors satisfying these conditions, set of all non-zero vectors satisfying that condition are the eigenvectors. Set of all vectors satisfying those conditions are said to be eigenvectors. Now the point is how to find out those eigenvalues and the eigenvectors. How to find out the eigenvalues and eigenvectors. So what is our aim? Our aim is to find out. Okay. So what is the question? how to find eigenvalues and eigenvectors of a given matrix. Okay, when I say a given matrix A, by default it is a matrix of order n by n. Okay, so now our aim is to find out. Okay, so to find our aim is to find eigenvalues and eigenvectors. Okay, so to find a non-zero, or I can write in mathematical symbols to find x not equal to 0, such that ax equal to lambda x, such that ax equal to lambda x for some scalar lambda. Now listen carefully. So I want to find out a non-zero vector satisfying the condition ax equal to lambda x for some scalar lambda, and this is possible. Whenever ax minus lambda x equal to 0. Okay, and this is possible when a minus lambda into x equal to 0. Is this right?
Yes, sir.
Any objection?
Yes, sir.
So we can't subtract the
Sir.
scalar
No objection?
from matrix.
Somebody is raising.
So we can't subtract a scalar from matrix.
You cannot subtract a scalar from a matrix, no? Okay, so this is not correct. Okay, so what should I do before writing this step?
A minus lambda I.
Yes, ax minus lambda into ix equal to 0, because ix is equal to x because of the identity matrix. Now I can write it as a minus lambda I into x equal to 0. Okay, now for the time being, don't write, just listen. For the time being, call it as bx equal to 0. What is b? B equal to a minus lambda.
A minus.
Now can you identify this equation?
Yes.
Homogeneous system.
That is a homogeneous system of linear equations, because B is a square matrix of order n. It is a matrix, right? A is a square matrix of order n, I is a square matrix of order n, difference is also square matrix of order n. So this is basically a matrix representation of a homogeneous system of linear equations. And for a homogeneous system of linear equations, what kind of solution we want?
Non-trivial.
Non-trivial.
So when a non-trivial solution exists for a homogeneous system,
Rank is less than number of
When determinant
Wait.
of A minus
How
lambda
mu-
is 0.
so this implies that rank of B must be less than
N.
n,
n.
because, right? But for a square matrix, when rank will be less than n?
Determinant is equal to 0.
Determinant equal to 0. What do you mean by what do you mean by B here? A minus
Minus
lambda
lambda.
equal to 0. Okay, so when you find the determinant of a minus lambda equal to 0, you will get an equation containing the unknown lambda. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You remember we did one problem. For what values of lambda the following system of equations will have a non-trivial solution? You remember? we equated determinant to be 0, you got a cubic equation, some equation in lambda. Then for those values of lambda only, the system is having a non-trivial solution for, and I gave you as exercise for solve the system for those values of lambda. You remember?
Yes, sir.
Right? So this is, it is similar to that one only. Only so when you solve this equation, when you find the determinant equal to 0, you will get an equation in lambda. That equation is going to be a polynomial equation in lambda. Okay. So only for the roots of that equation, only only for those roots of the equation, the system will have a non-trivial solution. Okay. So for each value of lambda, you find out the corresponding solutions. Those solutions are called eigenvectors corresponding to the eigenvalue lambda. Okay. So what is A? A is a matrix of order n by n. A11, A12, and so on. A1n, A21, A22, and so on. A2n, and so on. AN1, AN2, and so on. ANN minus lambda into what is I? Identity matrix 1 0 0 0 0 1 0 and so on 0 and so on 0 0 and so on 1. Determinant of this difference must be 0. So when I simplify, what do you get? A11 minus only principal diagonal elements are non-zero, remaining are all 0. So what will be this simplification? A11 minus lambda, A12 and so on, A1n, A21, and here diagonal portion is going to be A22 minus lambda minus A2n and so on, AN1, AN2 and so on, ANN minus lambda. This is going to be equal to 0. Now when you find out the determinant, you can see lambda, lambda, how many lambdas are there?
N lambda.
N lambdas. So when you simplify the determinant, naturally highest power of lambda would be n. Do you agree? If you take a 3 by 3 matrix, you will get a lambda cube. If you get a 2 by 2 matrix, you will see lambda square. If you take 4 by 4 matrix, you will see lambda power 4 and so on. And for an even for a 2 by 2 even order, you will see coefficient would be 1. Lambda power and coefficient would be 1. For an odd order, the coefficient would be -1, right? Because minus into minus, minus into minus plus. For a 2 by 2, it will be plus. For a 3 by 3, minus. For a 4 by 4, minus, plus, and so on. So when you simplify this, you will see a matrix. You will see a polynomial equation in lambda. This is -1 whole power lambda power n. Okay, plus or minus. Okay, and for remaining will be some constants. What are those constants? We don't know. Okay, so it can be something like what can we say? Some say, let us say a1. A1, can you give a different coefficient? Better notation. Shall I call this as some? Okay, let me call it as a1. A1 lambda power n minus 1 plus a2 lambda power n minus 2 and so on plus a plus an minus 1 lambda plus an equal to 0. You will get a nth degree polynomial equation in lambda. You will get an nth degree polynomial equation in lambda. Okay, so this equation is called characteristic equation. What is this called? Characteristic equation.
Characteristic equation.
What is this characteristic equation? Nothing but determinant of a minus lambda equal to 0. How many roots will be there for this characteristic equation?
N.
N roots.
N.
You know from the theory of equations, every nth degree polynomial equation will have exactly n roots. Those roots may be distinct or Some of the roots may be same, and roots may be real or complex. See, whatever the case may be, definitely there are n roots. Is that okay? Those roots are called characteristic roots. Those roots are called characteristic roots. Other name to the characteristic root is eigenvalue. Okay, so the roots of the characteristic equation are nothing but the eigenvalues. Only for those eigenvalues, only for those values of lambda, the system have a non-trivial solution. So, and for each eigenvalue of lambda, you solve the system. All those solutions are called eigenvectors corresponding to that eigenvalue. Let us say you have a 3 by 3 matrix. Let us say eigenvalues are 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. For lambda equal to 4, you have to solve a system a minus 4i into x equal to 0. So you'll get an infinitely many solutions. All those solutions are called eigenvectors corresponding to lambda equal to 4. Why you are going to get infinitely many solutions? Because there is definitely one non-zero solution. That non-zero solution will generate infinitely many solutions because of the properties of solutions of homogeneous system. We have seen linear combination of any number of solutions also a solution to the homogeneous system. Okay, so corresponding to each eigenvalue, there will be infinitely many eigenvectors. Okay, so if 4, 5, 6 means infinite solutions to 4, infinite solutions corresponding to 5, infinite solutions to corresponding to 6. So the all together are also again infinite, and roots may be 4, 4, 5. That means two eigenvalues may be same, one eigenvalue may be distinct. That means how many system of linear equations you have to solve? 4, 4, 5 means
2.
two system of linear equations, because only two distinct values are there, 4 and 5, and eigenvalues may be 4, 4, 4. Then how many system of linear equations you have to solve? Only one. Okay, so how many distinct eigenvalues are there? That many homogeneous system of linear equations you have to solve, and the corresponding solutions are called the eigenvectors corresponding to the eigenvalue. Is that okay? So in this, left hand side is a polynomial. Left hand side is called is a polynomial which is called characteristic polynomial. When this characteristic polynomial is equated to 0, that is called characteristic equation, and the roots of the characteristic equation are said to be the characteristic roots, nothing but the eigenvalues. Is that okay? So you can write down in your notes. Should I scroll up? Shall I proceed? Shall I? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So,
Yes.
so what is that note? First one, determinant of a minus lambda equal to 0. Sorry. Okay, is called characteristic polynomial okay, which is an nth degree polynomial lambda, which is an nth degree polynomial in lambda. Next, equal to 0 is called characteristic equation. Which is an nth degree polynomial equation in lambda. Okay. I'll change it later. Okay. So next one, the roots of the characteristic equation are called all the roots of the characteristic equation are called characteristic roots or eigenvalues. Eigenvalues of A. Okay. And okay, eigenvalues of A. Okay. All the roots. Okay. If A is a matrix of order n, then A will have how many eigenvalues?
N.
Eigenvalues. And in that case, A will have how many distinct eigenvalues?
N or less than N.
How do you say, in other words? In that case, A will have at most n distinct eigenvalues. Okay. And so in that case, A will have n eigenvalues, I said, no? So let us say those eigenvalues are, let us say those eigenvalues, by default we will say those eigenvalues like this. Let us say those eigenvalues as lambda 1, lambda 2, and so on, lambda n. Okay. So there will be n eigenvalues. We will denote those eigenvalues as lambda 1, lambda 2, and so on, lambda n. Okay. Now next one, what is the next note? Corresponding to each distinct eigenvalue, say lambda k. What is k? K can be, k belongs to 1 to n. Okay, that is understood. Okay, solve the system, solve the homogeneous system. System a minus lambda k of I into x equal to 0. We get an infinite solutions. Infinite non-zero solutions. In fact, except 0, all the remaining are going to be non-zero only. No, we get an infinite non-zero solutions. Okay, which are called what are those called? The eigenvectors. Which are called the eigenvectors corresponding to the eigenvalue, This terminology must be understood. Lambda k corresponding to the eigenvalue lambda k. Okay, so the number of eigenvalues are always finite. The number of eigenvalues are always n, but the number of eigenvectors are always infinite. Can you guess how many linearly independent eigenvectors will be there for a given matrix? For a given matrix, can you guess the number of linearly independent eigenvectors?
At most n.
At most n, correct. Why? Because
The others will be the multiples of.
yeah, if you are getting lambda 1, lambda 2, and so on, lambda n eigenvalues corresponding to each eigenvalue, you are going to solve the system a minus lambda 1 into I of x equal to 0, a minus lambda 2 into I of x equal to 0, and so on, a minus lambda n into I of x equal to 0. Let us say all these are all distinct. Okay, so for this you will get n minus r1, for this n minus r2, and so on, n minus rn, linearly independent solutions. LID solutions will be infinite, but linearly independent solutions will be finite. LID solutions. Okay, so but how do you justify your statement? I from this I can always, what I can say is n minus r, n is a finite, r is finite, n minus r is finite. So finite plus finite plus finite, finite. So what I can say at this stage is it will have finitely many linearly independent solutions. But you additionally gave an information saying that it will have at most n. Will it not cross n? How can you justify it? That may be your conjecture.
Because
Right?
R1, R2 can always be less than n.
Yeah, R1, R2 can always be less than n.
We have only n lambda and lambda and is the
let me say A is a 5 by 5 matrix. A is a 5 by 5 matrix. That means what is n?
5.
5. Let us say R1 equal to 1, R2 equal to 2, R3 equal to 2, R4 equal to 1, R5 equal to 2. Then what is n minus r? N minus r1, 4. What is n minus r2? 3. What is n minus R3? 3, 4, 3. What is the sum? Is it not crossed to n? Do you understand? From this, what I can say is sum of this is finite. Finite plus finite is finite. From this information, what I know is there will be finitely many linear independent vectors. But can we justify that it will not have more than n independent solutions? Can you say that this will not be the case?
Maybe they get same solution.
Repeated.
Whatever you said is right, but that is in the form of a result. There is a theorem. I'll come back to that. Okay. After seeing, initially we'll be doing how to find out these eigenvalues and eigenvectors, and after doing 2-3 problems, then we'll observe the number of linearly independent vectors, and then we'll arrive to the conclusion whether it can have exact at most n, or it can have beyond n linearly independent eigenvectors. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes. At this stage, we can only say that it will have finitely many linearly independent eigenvectors. Okay. Right. Right. Now once you are good at solving homogeneous system of linear equations, I think we are through. Okay. So now you see how the theory has developed. First, we defined a first layer like determinants, right? And after that, rank. Based on rank, system of linear equations, homogeneous system. Based on homogeneous system, eigenvectors. And using eigenvectors, there is another block. Can you see how the structure is evolved? Okay, so each concept is depending on using the previous concept. Now we'll be seeing some problems. Before that, there are some more names for these eigenvalues. Just add that point also. Eigenvalues can also be called as, right, another point. 6th point. Eigen values can be called as, okay, spectral values. Already characteristic roots I said. Okay, latent values. Or proper values. Okay, these are all different synonyms for eigenvalues. And one more point: the set of all eigenvalues of a given matrix is said to be spectrum. Okay, spectrum is nothing but the set of all eigenvalues. Spectrum. Okay, so with this, now we'll move on to finding eigenvalues and the corresponding eigenvectors. So here your task is to give me the solutions. Okay. No, I don't solve. Okay, it is your task to find solving the homogeneous system. We have done sufficient number of problems. Okay, so take the first problem. Just take the question. Find the eigenvalues and the corresponding eigenvectors for the following matrices. Okay, so it is redundant. So first question, take this. Shall we start with 2 by 2? We will start with a 3 by 3 only. So take the first problem. Two 1 0 0 2 1 0 0 2. I think easier one. Now just see the template. Same thing you have to do for all the subsequent problems. First write down the what is the step 1? Write down the characteristic equation. Okay, first we have to find out the eigenvalues. Eigenvalues are nothing but the roots of the characteristic equation. Characteristic equation is nothing but determinant of a minus lambda equal to 0. Okay, so the characteristic equation is equation of A is determinant of a minus lambda I equal to 0, where lambda is a parameter. So what is its characteristic equation? We have seen earlier. Characteristic equation is nothing but determinant where only diagonal elements of A will be replaced with AII will be replaced with AII minus lambda. Remaining elements are going to be same. That means this is going to be 2 minus lambda 1 0 0 2 minus lambda 1 0 0 2 minus lambda equal to 0. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Now once you have the characteristic equation, find out the determinant. What is the determinant of this matrix?
2 minus lambda whole cube.
Why? Because it is a upper triangular matrix. Am I right? For a triangular matrix, the determinant is nothing but the product of diagonal elements. So what are the roots of this equation?
2.
2, 2, 2.
2 2 2. Don't simply write lambda equal to 2. How many roots you have to write? N roots. Whether they're distinct or similar, same doesn't matter. You have to write n roots. For a 3 by 3 matrix, you have to give 3 roots. What are the 3 roots in this case? 2 2 2.
2, 2, 2.
Okay, what are these called?
Eigenvalues.
Eigenvalues of A.
Values.
How many distinct eigenvalues of A are there here?
1.
So how many system of linear equations you have to solve?
1.
So what is your side heading?
1.
1.
Side heading is eigenvectors corresponding to the eigenvalue value lambda equals to 2. That is your side heading. Okay, so for finding the eigenvectors, what I am supposed to do? You have to solve the system a minus lambda I of x equal to 0. What is lambda here? 2 of x
2.
equal to 0. And a minus 2i is nothing but matrix A replacing diagonal element with the diagonal element minus 2. Do you agree? Substitute.
Yes.
Now this is a matrix, not a determinant. Remember, a minus 2i is a matrix. Okay, so just wherever lambda is there, replace lambda with 2. So 2 minus 2 0 0 0. So what is this? 0 1 0
0 0 1
0 0 1
0 0
0 0 0 into x. Let us say x equal to xyz. x equal to xyz. Where is xyz equal to 0? Now is this in echelon form? Is the coefficient matrix in echelon form?
Yes, sir.
It's already in echelon form.
Yes, sir.
And with rank,
2.
definitely rank will be less than n. Why? Because for that we are trying to find out non-zero solution. For that only we are equating determinant of a minus lambda equal to 0. Definitely when you convert the matrix a minus lambda into echelon form, its rank will be less than n. Its rank should be less than n. You can never have equal to n. Okay, so in this case rank is 2 less than n, less than 3, so it will have infinitely many solutions, obviously. So what are the independent variables? So write down the equivalent system now. What is the equivalent system? Multiply these two. What is the first equation?
Z equals to
Is
0.
equals
First equation is y equal to 0.
equal to 0.
And what is the next equation?
Z equals to 0.
Z
So
equals
what is the free variable?
X.
X. Is it okay? How many free variables will be there? N minus r. What is n? 3. What is rank? 2. 1. What is that free variable? X.
X.
Do you agree?
Yes.
So you assign arbitrary constant to that free variable. Okay. So let x will be k1. Therefore, what is your solution? X equal to x, y, z,
K.
k1
0.
0 0,
0.
which is equal to k1 into
1
1 0.
0. 0.
So how many non-zero solutions you are seeing? For different non-zero values of k1, you are getting different non-zero solutions. All those non-zero solutions are called eigenvectors corresponding to the eigenvalue 2. Do you agree? How many? What is the independent eigenvector here?
X.
1 0 0.
Can you see that? This independent eigenvector generating infinitely many eigenvectors. Okay. Therefore, are the eigenvectors. Eigenvectors corresponding to what? Corresponding to the eigenvalue lambda equal to 2. Corresponding to the eigenvalue lambda equal to 2. That's it. Your solution is over. We got the eigenvalues and we also got the corresponding eigenvectors. Shall I proceed?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So take the next problem. Problem number 2. Uh, 6 minus 2 2. 6 minus 2 2. Minus 2 3 minus 1. Minus 2 3 minus 1. 2 minus 1 3. 2 minus 1 3. So write down the characteristic equation and find out the roots. 2 minus 1, 3 minus lambda. I'm not going to find out the determinant. It is your task to find out the determinant and tell me the equation. Simplify and tell me. Anyone did? Are you simplifying?
Lambda cube minus 12 lambda square plus 38 lambda plus 14.
Just check your simplification. If you do any mistake here, then the subsequent work is also going to be wasted. That's why be careful in finding the characteristic equation.
Minus lambda cube.
You
Minus
can
two.
multiply with minus 1. Lambda cube.
Lambda cube plus 8 lambda square minus 12 lambda is equal.
Lambda cube minus 12 lambda square plus 36 lambda minus 32 equal to 0.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Minus 12 lambda square plus 36 lambda
After
minus
multiplying with minus 1, lambda cube minus 12 lambda square plus 36 lambda minus 32 equal to 0. So all of you should get this equation. Okay. But who will tell in exams? Okay. There are some checks. We'll see that later. So how do you find out the roots? One is by with your own efforts. Find one root by inspection, then find the remaining roots by synthetic division. The other way is use your calculator. Because it is a cubic equation, calculator can give you the roots. Right? Input the coefficients of these variables.
Yes, sir.
Lambda powers coefficients you input and tell me the roots.
8, 2, and minus 1.
No.
Oh, yes, sir. 8, 2, 2.
Right. 8, 2, 2. Always try to write the values in the increasing order. In that case, what are the eigenvalues?
8, 2, 2.
Increasing order ante enti?
2 to 8.
2, 8. Okay. So this implies that lambda equal to 2 to 8 are the eigenvalues. How many distinct eigenvalues are there now?
2.
So how many system of linear equations? 2.
2.
So find out eigenvectors corresponding to lambda equal to 2 first. Okay, solve the system. A minus 2i into x equal to 0. So a minus 2i is nothing but substitute lambda equal to 2. Substitute lambda equal to 2 here. Okay, and then tell me the matrix. 6 minus 2 is 4. 4 minus 2 2. Next row minus 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. Minus 1. And 2
minus 1 1.
minus 1. 3 minus 2 is 1 into xyz equal to 0 0 0. Okay. Now don't take the, all of you please listen, don't write the quotient matrix separately and convert into echelon matrix and substitute. Here itself you apply the row operations to the quotient matrix and write down the equations. Okay, so what are the pivots? Pivot is 4. You simply write R2 gets 2R2 plus R1 and R3 gets 2R3 minus R1. Okay, apply operations only to quotient matrix. Don't apply these operations to the variables. Okay, 4 minus 2 2. So minus 4 plus 4 0. 2 minus 2 0. Minus 2 plus 2 0. 4 minus 4 0. Minus 2 plus 2 0. 2 minus 2 0. So fortunately in the next step itself we got the echelon form. Now what is the rank? 1.
1.
So 1 less than 3 means there will be 2 free variables. So what is the equivalent system now? 4x minus 2y plus 2z equal to 0. This implies that what? X equal to
half of
half of y minus z. Do you agree? So how many free variables are there?
2.
2.
Because n minus r equal to 3 minus 1 equal to 2.
2.
So 2 free variables. So what are those 2 free variables? Let y equals to I can assign arbitrary constants to the free variables. So what is y?
K1.
K1.
If I assume k1, I will get fraction. I told you the trick.
2 K1.
K1.
2 k1. Z equal to
K2.
2 K2.
2 k2. Then what is x?
K1 minus
minus
K1
K2.
minus k2. Therefore, what is your x? xyz equal to k1 minus k2, 2 k1, 2 k2. So write it as a linear combination of two vectors. K1 into, if I write k1 into, what is that? 1
1 2 0.
0 plus
Minus
k2 into
1 0. Minus 1
1
0
0 2,
2.
which is in the form k1 x1 plus k2 x2. And for different values of k1 and k2, for different values of k1 and k2, you will get different non-zero solutions. Those solutions are called eigenvectors corresponding to the lambda equal to 2. Right? So what are the independent solutions here? What are the independent eigenvectors? x1 and x2. 1, 2, 0 and -1, 0, 2 are the two independent eigenvectors. So the set of all solutions forms a space called eigenspace. Okay. So that's a big theory. So is your solution over? That's it. We have to
Yes,
do
sir.
something else.
No, sir.
Now you have to find out.
Equals to 8.
You have to find out eigenvectors correspond to lambda equal to 8 also, no? So still we have some more work. So write down eigenvectors corresponding to lambda equals to 8. Okay. So solve the system. Now substitute a lambda equal to 8 in a minus lambda I. So when I substitute lambda equal to 8, then what do I get? What is 6 minus 8? Minus 2.
Minus 2.
Minus 2.
Minus 2.
2. Minus 2. 3 minus 8 is minus 5. Minus 1. 2. Minus 1. 3 minus 8 is minus 5. Into xyz equal to 0, 0, 0. Now convert into echelon form. Convert into echelon form. R2 gets R2 minus R1. R3 gets R3 plus R1. Okay. So this implies that why I'm writing implies, because I'm connecting equations. See, equation, previously expressions, equivalent. Okay, so minus 2, minus 2, 2, minus 2 plus 2, 0, minus 5 plus 2, minus 3, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, 2 plus 2 minus 2, 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 5 plus 2, minus 3 into xyz, right as it is. Xyz is equal to 0, 0, 0. Now what is the next pivot?
Minus 3.
So R3 gets R3 minus R2. Minus 2, minus 2, 2, 0, minus 3, minus 3, 0, 0, 0. Into xyz equal to 0, 0, 0. So what is the rank?
2.
Less than. So this implies that what is the new system? Minus 2x minus 2y plus 2z equal to 0. That implies that minus x minus y plus z equal to 0. This implies that z equal to x plus y. What is the next equation?
Minus 3y minus
Let
3z
me
equals to 0.
erase this. Okay. Next one is minus 3y minus 3z equal to 0.
X plus Z equal to 0.
This implies that what is y?
Minus x plus y.
Am I right? X plus y, yeah. Okay. Okay, so what are the free variables? Rank is 2. Rank is 2 means what? N minus r means what? N minus r equal to 3 minus 2 equal to 1 free variable. Okay, what is a free variable now?
Y.
I express what is here. I express y in terms of z.
X.
I expressed y in terms of z. Then what is the free variable?
X.
Y is the free variable.
I am expressing y in terms of z. In terms of z,
Z.
that is the free variable.
Z.
Then what is the
Z.
arbitrary constant I have to do? Mute yourself, please. What is the arbitrary constant? Already I used k1, k2 here. So don't use the same arbitrary constant. So let us use k3. Okay. If I use k3, if I say z equal to k3, then what is y? Minus k3. Okay. This implies that what is x? X equal to
2
y
K.
minus z. Sorry, z minus y. X equal to z minus y. What is z? K3 plus k3 is 2k3.
2 K3.
Therefore, what is your solution? X equal to x, y, z equal to 2k3 minus k3, k3. So if I write k3, if I write k3, 2 minus 1, 1, which is in the form k3 into x3. What are these called? Are the eigenvectors
Yes.
corresponding to
Eigen. 8.
so the
Eigenvalue.
eigenvalue 8. Is it okay? Now how many independent eigenvectors you got in this problem? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now all these three put together. See, the point is these two are independent. This is one independent. I have two independent vectors. I have one independent vector. Now I am putting all the three together. Now will these three be independent or dependent? You have to check. No, these two may be dependent. These two may be dependent. You cannot simply say that two independent plus independent to put together becomes independent. Will it be? Not necessarily. No.
No.
Do you understand? You have to check whether independent vectors and independent vectors together put together, will they be independent or not? You have to check. Got it? Now, how do you check whether a given set of vectors are linearly independent or not? One is, I said, you should if you want to say three are dependent. If you want to say two are dependent, you have to express one in terms of other. Okay, as a constant multiple. And if I want to say three are linearly dependent, I should be able to express one as a linear combination of remaining two, either x1 in terms of x2, x3, or x2 in terms of x1, x3, or x3 in terms of x1, x2. In a similar way for 4 vectors, 5 vectors, and so on. But that is difficult practically. So, but when you put all these vectors together, and if you see like a square matrix, that means if there are n vectors where each vector has n components, then n vectors and each vector having n components put together becomes a square matrix. Do you agree? So if you have a square matrix, find out its determinant. If the determinant is 0, they will be linearly dependent. If the determinant is non-zero, they will be linearly independent. Okay, so what I am trying to say is, now find out the put the matrix. So solution is over. Okay, so this part is over. So note what is x1, x2, x3? let us say some matrix, some P. Okay, P or B, some matrix. Let us say M. What is the first eigenvector? Can you tell me? 1, 2, 0.
0.
What is the second eigenvector?
1.
Minus 1, 0, 2. Minus 1, 0, 2. Third vector is 2 minus 1, 1. Okay. Find your determinant of M. That minus 1, 2, 0, minus 1, 0, 2, 2 minus 1, 1. Tell me whether this is 0 or non-zero.
Sir,
Hmm.
sir, it is 1, so you have written minus 1 over there for first row, first column.
I didn't understand your question.
So in the last step where you wrote the determinant of m, you've written the first number to be minus 1, but it's
Yeah,
actually
sorry.
1.
It has
Sir.
to be 1. Right, correct.
Yes, sir.
Hmm. So is
Determinant
it 0 or non-zero?
Non-zero.
1, 0.
Non-zero. I don't mind the outcome, but I want only whether 0 or non-zero. Okay. So this implies that this itself telling that x1, x2, x3 are linearly independent eigenvectors. How many linearly independent eigenvectors you got?
3.
3 equal to
N.
n. In this case, in the previous problem, how many independent eigenvectors you got?
1.
1 less than
n.
n. 1 less than 3. So in one case we got less than n. In another case you got equal to n. So the conclusion could be at most n independent eigenvectors. Okay. Okay. So one last problem, and exams you will be given this kind of problem. Eight minus 6 2 minus 6 7 minus 4 2 minus 4 3. So this is the last problem for the today's class. If you can finish, you can conclude the class. So what is your first task?
Characteristic equation.
Write the characteristic equation. Find out the characteristic equation. Simplify it and tell me the cubic equation.
minus lambda cube plus 18 lambda square minus 45 lambda.
Minus, you multiply with minus 1. What is the resultant equation you got?
I don't know whether it's correct, sir. but
You tell me. Don't worry about
lambda
it.
minus 18 lambda square plus 45 lambda.
Correct. So your equation is lambda cube minus 18 lambda square. Don't hesitate whether you are right or wrong. Just participate in the discussion. That's enough. So lambda cube minus lambda square plus 45 lambda equal to 0. So what are the roots? Obviously, lambda equal to 0 is a root.
Lambda
Lambda
0,
square
315.
minus 18 lambda plus 45 equal to 0. And I can write it as lambda into lambda minus 3 into lambda minus 15 equal to 0. Factorize. Therefore, I can say that lambda equal to, in the increasing values of lambda, 0, 3, 15 are the eigenvalues of A. Okay. Now, any doubt?
Yes, sir. Tomorrow holiday.
Tomorrow, obviously, holiday is a holiday. No class work. Public holidays are there, no? 25th and 26th. 25, 26 are holidays. We'll discuss at the end of the class. Okay. So, so how many eigenvalues are there? 3 eigenvalues. How many distinct eigenvalues are there?
3.
Yes.
So how many system of linear equations you have to solve them?
3 systems.
3 system of linear. So in exams it will be like this. Okay. So now I'm not going to write down all those things. I will put side headings and tell me the now you tell me the solutions. You solve each system and let me know the solution to this. So what is the first side heading?
Eigenvector corresponding to lambda.
Yes, eigenvectors corresponding to lambda equal to 1. It is not moving. What happened? So first one, eigenvectors, or I will write like this. Eigenvectors corresponding to first one, lambda equal to 0. Second one, lambda equal to 3. Third one, lambda equal to 15. Now in your notebook, solve the system a minus 0I into x equal to 0 and tell me the solution for this and solve a minus 3I into x equal to 0 and solve, tell me the solution set, and first solve a minus 15I into x equal to 0 and tell me the solution system. So if possible, try to express z. Try to select z if possible. If possible, try to select z as an arbitrary constant. Try to select then that may not be the case every time. It depends on the system. And express the remaining variables in terms of z. Can you find? Did you find first set of eigenvectors corresponding to lambda equal to 0? Anyone?
X is equals to half k1, y is equals to k1, z is equals to k1.
K1.
I said you can avoid a fraction, no? Or you multiply and divide with 2.
1, 2, 2.
Correct. 1, 2. 1, 1, 2, 2. Correct. Which is in the form k1 x1. That means you could have chosen z equal to 2k1, right? Instead of k1. Am I right?
Yes,
sir.
Z or y?
Z.
Z. Okay.
Z or Y both same only, sir.
Okay. Fine.
That's for lambda equals 3.
Second eigenvalue, no? For the second eigenvalue, what is the x?
2, 1 minus 2.
2, 1 minus 2. That is fine. Either you can say 2, 1 minus 2, or you can say minus 2 minus 1, 2 also. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So, what you are telling? 2, 1 minus 2, huh?
Yes, sir.
2, 1 minus 2 is fine. Or some of you might have got minus 2 minus 1, 2. This is also correct. Okay. So this is k2 x2. Any constant multiple of this vector is also fine. Don't worry about this plus minus. As long as your vector is constant multiple of this vector, your answer is correct. I want every one of you to solve the problem. Don't just copy. Okay. If you do on yourself, then only you can build your confidence. Last one. Anyone?
Two minus 2, 1.
Correct. 2 minus 2. 1. Or any constant multiple of this also fine. Now again you can see one linearly independent, one linearly independent, one linearly independent. Put these three vectors together and find the determinant. You will notice that their determinant is non-zero. That means these three are put together also linearly independent eigenvectors. So you will have three linearly independent eigenvectors in this case also. So that's it. Okay. So your task is, you are asked to find out eigenvalues and the corresponding eigenvectors. So how many eigenvalues you got corresponding to that many system of linear equations you have to solve, and the corresponding non-zero solutions are called the eigenvectors. Okay, so I may give one or two problems as homework to find out eigenvalues and eigenvectors. We try to find out the solutions. Okay, so in today's class we have learnt what do you mean by eigenvector and eigenvalue, and we have seen the method of finding eigenvalues and the corresponding eigenvectors.